Tens of thousands of dollars worth of damage following a house fire on 7th Avenue earlier this week. KNEB.TV News starts right now.
From your trusted source for news in western Nebraska and eastern Wyoming, this is KNEB.TV News. Presented by Platte Valley Companies, premier provider of financial services.
Hello, I'm Ryan Murphy. This is KNEB.TV News powered by Platte Valley Companies. Thanks for joining me. In our top story, authorities say an overloaded electrical circuit led to a fire at a Scottsbluff residence that ended with tens of thousands of dollars worth of damage. Late Sunday night, crews were called to the 1700 block of 7th Avenue, finding a working attic fire and the sole occupant outside the home on arrival. Firefighters from Scottsbluff and Gering made an offensive fire attack, but due to the age and construction of the residence, extensive overhaul operations were needed to ensure there was no additional fire spread. No injuries were reported, and damages were estimated to be approximately $50,000. Scottsbluff Police and Regional West EMS also responded to the scene. Well, an Alliance woman arrested following a Scottsbluff traffic stop, resulting in the discovery of 40 grams of methamphetamine, has been sentenced. 19-year-old Melissa Brungard was arrested in April, along with Kaya Cordell, where the drugs and cash were discovered and seized. Brungard pleaded no contest to an amended charge of attempted possession of methamphetamine, 28 to 139 grams, in August, and was sentenced on Friday to 3 years of traditional probation by Judge Andrea Miller. Co-defendant Kaya Cordell has a bench warrant for her arrest after failing to show for her last court appearance in this case. And authorities say a Kimball man lost his life in a two-vehicle collision on the interstate Friday afternoon. The Nebraska State Patrol says 47-year-old Chad Cook died from injuries suffered when his pickup collided with a semi in the I-80 construction zone a few miles west of Kimball. NSB spokesman Cody Thomas says Cook's pickup was eastbound and crossed the center line. Cook was pronounced deceased at the scene. The semi-driver was treated for minor injuries, and the crash remains under investigation. We'll have more news right after this.
Looking for free instead of fees? Platte Valley Bank can help you keep your finances moving forward with no ATM fees. Whether you're headed to the lake, the mountains, or just to the grocery store, you can enjoy the freedom of free ATM access anywhere, anytime. Platte Valley Bank. You belong here.
Life is crazy. Pain is stressful. How can anybody concentrate with these busy schedules? Now you can. This is Ben Moravec coming to you from Hydrozen, a float therapy business right here in Scottsbluff. I'm here today to let you know we now have memberships for $49 monthly. You can guarantee yourself at least one float per month. You know how floating keeps your muscles relaxed, your joints relieved, and your brain clear to think? Now you can float at a reduced rate each month. Inquire today at hydrozenfloat.com or call us at 308-63-FLOAT. Hydrozen. Unplug and recharge.
Welcome back. Small, non-farm businesses in much of the Panhandle and southeastern Wyoming are now eligible to apply for low-interest federal disaster loans from the U.S. Small Business Administration. The loans are intended to help offset economic losses because of reduced revenues caused by drought that began July 30th. Scottsbluff County in Nebraska and Goshen and Platte counties in Wyoming have received primary designation, with a loan available also for those in nearby Banner, Morrill, Box Butte, Sioux, and Laramie counties. Eligibility for the loans is based on the financial impact of disaster only, having an interest rate of 4% for businesses and 3.25% for private nonprofit organizations, and a maximum term of 30 years. And decades of service were recognized recently as the Scottsbluff Kiwanis Club dedicated a new shelter to one of their own. Stepping away from the organization after 27 years, Jeff Reifschneider cut the ribbon on the new shelter in the city recreation area between the Riverside Discovery Center and the Trails West YMCA camp in Scottsbluff. Visibly moved, Reifschneider was told by club members since he made a big impact, they had to find him a big honor.
We ran out of Christmas tree stuff we could dedicate.
Dedicate something to you.
You had the tree lot, you had the tree shack, you had to do something.
Yeah, well, I do appreciate it. It's always been part of the club.
Well, you've done a lot for us, man. We're going to remember you a lot.
We appreciate everything.
Appreciate everything.
You've been a big part.
If you ever want to still help us out, you let us know.
Reifschneider was a member of the service organization since 1997, and the shelter bearing his name is just west of the Trails of Fun playground.
I imagined retirement in a place where we could enjoy our golden years, where adventure and friendship are the only items on the schedule. The Garden Homes at Northfield gives us the luxury we planned for and peace of mind when it comes to convenience, safety, and comfort. We never have to stop and think about the day-to-day upkeep. We love to explore abroad, but most importantly in our backyard. So much to do, so much to see. Here at Northfield, we get the protection of life care, incredible tax benefits, and secured rates for aging services. It's peaceful, knowing that if our needs change, we'll be taken care of. And most importantly, that our kids will never have to make any tough decisions. There never seemed to be enough time to do all the things we wanted. Now we get to focus our energy on enjoying what this community has to offer. At the Garden Homes, life is ours again. A place we had dreamed about. A chance to focus on us.
Tri-City Stormwater presents Stormwater 101, an illicit discharge.
This is KNEB.TV Ag News from the Scottsbluff Body and Paint Ag Desk. Scottsbluff Body and Paint, you're driving home our reputation.
Earlier this week, the Market Journal crew had the opportunity to document a conversation between UNL's Dean of Agricultural Research Division, Derek McLean, and plant breeding and genetics experts, James Schnabel. Aside from leading the crops research here at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, James is also the Nebraska Corn Checkoff Presidential Chair. The duo discussed the value of UNL's research plots and how they're benefiting Nebraska's corn producers.
So James, tell us a little bit about some of the research you've been conducting and what do you see going forward?
So I'm actually very excited as we go into this fall. We've been successful in securing some new support for my program through both RPE, which is the energy equivalent of DARPA, funding advanced breakthrough research, as well as the National Science Foundation. With RPE, we are looking at ways to use gene expression data, so measurements of the RNA in the leaves of corn plants like the ones behind me, to predict how corn will perform in new environments to help guide our breeding decisions. This is something people have thought might be possible for many years, but nobody has had the funding and the capacity to do the large-scale research necessary to find out whether or not this would work. We're going to find out over the course of the next year. At the same time, we were fortunate to receive some funding from the National Science Foundation, working with one of my colleagues at Iowa State University, part of the AI Institute for Resilient Agriculture, and a professor of computer graphics at Purdue University, whose background is actually developing the digital plants you might see in video games, using those same sorts of procedural models to model entire cornfields and be able to predict if we start making changes to the geometry of the cornfield, the inter-row spacing, the arrangement of corn plants, as well as the genetics of the corn plants. For example, the properties of the canopy, how many leaves a corn plant produces, the width, the length, the angle, how that's going to affect the efficiency and the productivity of cornfields. So we can simulate hundreds of thousands or millions of possible combinations in a high-performance computing environment using digital twins, and then test the best ones in the field. Because even at a large facility like Havelock, we can test dozens or hundreds of possible combinations. We cannot test millions.
That's really amazing. I'm just trying to put all this together. So you're basically taking information that you're gaining from the leaf at the cell level. And is this like an artificial intelligence or AI type of application?
Yes, so we're actually working with some collaborators in the private sector who are developing AI models that can make predictions from that gene expression data, the molecular properties of the leaf, to say how well would these corn plants perform at the end of the year, but also how well would they have performed if they were grown in different environments.
So then you can actually scale that up and then use that information to help our producers that are farming at thousands of acre type of scale. Is that right?
That would be the ultimate goal, is to be able to look at new varieties of corn and say which ones are going to do best on your farm in this year, and at mid-season, what do we think the crop is going to look like at the end of the year? Because if growers have a better sense of that, they can make better decisions in terms of how to hedge their prices, how much to sell to the pre-sell to the market, and also what fertilizer applications, what it makes sense to invest in the crop during the year.
Sounds like a great application, because I know our producers are constantly trying to make decisions. They're making a decision, between seasons, during the seasons. So this also helps them potentially with their profitability and bottom line. Is that correct?
Absolutely. I mean, that's something I've been really impressed in the 10 years I've been here in Nebraska. Nebraska farmers are making very sophisticated decisions. The more data we give them, both the more profitable they're going to be, but their profitability tends to also translate to more efficiency. So we see that as a double win. Our farmers make more money, we get more grain, and we're putting less nitrogen and water down on the field.
So it's also really about sustainability,
Yes.
natural resource sustainability, and then also inputs.
That's been my experience. The more and the better data you can get to farmers, the more sustainable their practices are going to be.
Because we hear a lot about these opportunities that are happening. And now with this AI, these digital twins help us also. So for example, in the development of the sustainable aviation fuel or SAF fuel or other types of directions that farmers could go?
So that's a very good question, and that's something where I think we need a lot of data. Some of it has to come from the farm, some of it still has to come from the federal government in terms of how the carbon scoring for sustainable aviation fuel is going to be considered. If we see a policy where farmers are rewarded for better practices and their crops are given lower CI scores, that's going to really shift the whole market for sustainable aviation fuel. It's going to unlock a huge amount of additional demand for ethanol on an ethanol to jet pathway, and that would really be a game changer for Nebraska farmers.
I know that is a potential game changer, and I know the Corn Board appreciates the ability to work with you and your expertise in these areas, and also all the scientists we have here at UNL that can work in that space. And I think it's also really great that we're out here today at Havelock Research Facility. I mean, we're one of the few places in the United States where corn is actually grown on the UNL campus.
Yes.
But then if you need to do something maybe a little larger at a larger scale, more commercial, you come out here to Havelock. Tell me a little bit about how that works for your research program.
Yeah. So my program combines a lot of genetics research with agronomy research. So if we are growing a few plants to make seeds or doing something where we're going to be touching the plants every day, that happens right on East Campus where my students can just walk over to the field. They don't even get in the car. But if we want to scale up a little bit, do something that's a little bit closer to a production level system, we can come here. It's only 15 minutes from campus, and we can grow really large commercial scale experiments as well as really large replicated trials. I have some trials growing over there that we're photographing from space because we're able to see that level of resolution. And we have a wonderful farm team here that is using the same equipment that you'd see on a commercial farm.
So this is an opportunity again, so you can rub shoulders with producers.
Yes.
You can say, we're farming right next to you.
Yes.
We're experiencing the same type of challenges and opportunities that you experience.
Absolutely, and I would just also emphasize it means that my students, many of whom are not coming from agricultural backgrounds, are out here experiencing what it is like to be on a commercial scale operation. I think that makes them better geneticists, better data scientists going forward, having that hands-on experience.
Having that opportunity to understand what it's really like to be out in the field on a daily basis.
Yes.
October is Renewal by Anderson's United Against Cancer campaign, and when Renewal offered to pay for employees' radon testing and mitigation, several Renewal team members found radon in their homes. Deb was one of them, and she always wondered how she got breast cancer. Radon causes cancer. It's linked to Parkinson's, Alzheimer's. Radon is a killer.
People don't know about radon. They don't know what a killer it is, and they don't know how cheap it is to have it tested.
From all of us at Renewal by Anderson, please get a radon test now. It could save your life.
Welcome to Kelly's Liquor, your liquor cabinet. Whether you're a wine enthusiast, a whiskey sommelier, a tequila connoisseur, or you just love your beer, Kelly's has the best selection of what you're looking for. Family owned and operated since 1946 and right on 27th Street in Scottsbluff. Come see us today at Kelly's Liquor, your liquor cabinet. And remember to be a good neighbor. Don't drink and drive. Kelly's Liquor, West 27th Street in Scottsbluff.
Let's take a look at your community calendar, brought to you by Riverstone Bank. The community calendar is brought to you by Riverstone Bank. We're local and we love our community.
Better sleep and better health can be found at Western Sleep Medicine in Gering. Since 2006, Western Sleep Medicine has offered the lowest cost sleep testing either in their independent sleep laboratory or the privacy of your own home. You have control over your health care and your out-of-pocket cost. All insurance is accepted for a much lower cost than the regional option. If you need a sleep study, ask for Western Sleep Medicine. They've helped thousands of people over the years and want to help you. Western Sleep Medicine. Better sleep, better health.
Tired of feeling stuck? Not sure if you are on the right track? Platte Valley Bank can help keep your finances moving forward with checking account options to fit your lifestyle and an online account chooser to make finding the right account easy. Control your financial future with helpful budgeting tools and automatic savings plans. Now is the time to enjoy the ride with Platte Valley Bank. You belong here.
And finally tonight, the local Seroptimist International of Scottsbluff County Group is hoping you'll take a seat at their upcoming fundraiser. On Thursday at the West Nebraska Arts Center, they'll be hosting their second annual charity event. Member Cindy Dickinson says that the nearly month-long auction will feature one-of-a-kind items that will be up for grabs.
So we take old chairs and repurpose them, make them fun and creative at the Arts Center, and then have an auction. The funds go towards scholarships for girls, so we have mentoring programs.
Open bidding will begin at the exhibit, and folks unable to attend can swing by the Arts Center anytime between October 27th to place their bid. During the opening reception on October 3rd, there will also be a buy it now option for those chairs. Well, that does it for us this time. Thank you so much for tuning in. Stay safe out there. We'll see you here next time.